And our next guest has an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal about Iran and its nuclear weapons ambition. Former U.S. ambassador to the United Nations and former National Security Advisor John Bolton joins us. Nice to see you. It's been a while.
It has been. Glad to be here.
Nice to see you. All right, let me talk about Iran and your op-ed. First, for starters, does anyone think Iran is not going to get a nuclear weapon that they can put on a ballistic missile to deliver?
Well, I think they can still be stopped, but somebody's going to have to do it. And it's not going to come from going back into the failed 2015 Iran nuclear deal. It's not going to be because of sanctions enforcement, which the Biden administration has softened. There are really only two alternatives at this point. One is to get a new regime in Tehran that doesn't want to build nuclear weapons, or the other is to destroy the program to make it impossible for them to get to the end state.
All right, well, I don't see the regime changes. Let me go to whether you can destroy the program.
Well, I wouldn't leave that too quickly, but on the destruction point.
Okay, we'll get to that then. I mean, is that a possibility that there's going to be a new regime there?
Look, I think the regime is more fragile today than at any point since the revolution of 1979. It doesn't get reported because Western journalists don't go far out of Tehran, but out in the countryside among the farmers, the small business people, not the educated classes, but the vast bulk of the population, the regime has never been more unpopular.
But wasn't unpopular, I think, the first June of 2009, right after President Obama got into office, there was sort of some have thought it was a missed opportunity for the regime to fail then, that regime?
Yeah, well, that was a opposition inside Tehran, educated, middle-class people, and it was a very important signal. This is now far broader, out among people who are not privileged at all, who don't have the benefits of education, but who have turned against the revolution itself. Now, obviously, the Revolutionary Guards still have the weapons. This is not something that can happen without them fragmenting, but that possibility is very much there.
All right, let me turn to the other part then, destroying their program. Who has the will to do it? I suppose that Israel has the greatest will to do it. Maybe Saudi Arabia has equal interest in it, or the will to do so. But if Israel does try to destroy their program, or effectively does do it. Hezbollah has 100 to 150,000 missiles pointed at Israel. I don't know what Hamas has, but it does start a whole war in the region, does it not?
No, I don't think so. I think what Israel could do, and I think it could be assisted by other countries like the Saudis and others in the Gulf, and should be by the United States, is that these are very targeted strikes against well-known locations. And Israel, for a variety of years now, has been going through and sort of destabilizing part of the program bit by bit with destruction of centrifuge capabilities at Natanz, for example, sabotage, basically. But I think the program, at least what we know of it, is extremely vulnerable, including not just the enrichment facilities, but the critical uranium conversion facility at Esfahan that converts uranium as a solid form to uranium as a gas. If you can't do that, you can't even get to the enrichment stage. And that's all on the surface. So this is very doable. All
right, 2015 was the agreement, the original agreement. President Trump then came in 2018, and he took the United States out of the agreement. Was the original agreement, should it have been, because it was you're a lawyer, I'm a lawyer, a treaty?
It should have been a treaty,
the
that's
fact that
for
it wasn't
sure.
a treaty made it so easy for one president to come in and get rid of it after the first president.
Well, a subsequent president could withdraw from a treaty, too. I've spent a lot of my career withdrawing from bad treaties. But the fundamental problem with the deal was that it didn't have broad consent within the United States. Obama knew that. He knew he couldn't get it ratified as a treaty. That shows it's shaky to begin with.
But it was, but any agreement, if there's any possibility of agreement, why isn't the Senate brought into this as a treaty?
The Senate has been giving away the treaty power for close to a century. I think this is a big constitutional mistake. Republicans should change that.
Are treaties dead?
They're not dead, but the Senate's got to stand up for its constitutional prerogatives. Nobody else is going to stand up for them.
All right. Now, Europe, which you mentioned in your op-ed, what do you think Europe can do to help stop Iran from getting a weapon?
Well, I think Europe needs to wake up to what the threat is here, just as it had to wake up to the threat from Russia when they invaded Ukraine. And my suggestion is have Israelis and Arabs, foreign ministers together, go around to the European capitals. They're not going to listen to the United States, but maybe they'll listen to the people who are close to the threat, like they are now close to the threat of Russia.
Ambassador John Bolton, nice to see you, sir. Thank you.
Good to be here.